Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on Happy RC Flyer here on YouTube. You might ask what these tiny little things are, and we're going to find out here in just a moment. Today is Tools and Tips Tuesday, and today we have a tool for you. It is the transmitter toggle switch covers, and I'll show you how I like to use them and how I find them helpful. And if you want to pick a setup, I'll have a link for these in the video description. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, and subscribing helps grow the channel, and we desire to grow the hobby. So help us out by hitting the subscribe button. Like the video at the end if you like the content. Share it with a friend that you think might enjoy it, and drop a comment or a question. Maybe you have an idea for something that you find helpful in the RC hobby, an item, a tool, a little tip or a trick, and share that in the comments. It's a great place to share in the community of RC hobbyists. So if you like that unsponsored, unbiased perspective on things, this is the channel for you. We don't make any money on the videos. I don't make any money on the products. If you see a link for something to purchase something, it's not an affiliate link. I don't make any money off of those links. I have a job and make money. That's where I make my money. So I'm just here as a hobbyist, and if you like the hobbyist perspective on things, then you've come to the right place. Anyway, without further ado, as I mentioned, this is another episode of Tools and Tips Tuesday, and today we have a little tool for you. This is a nifty little cover for your toggle switch for your transmitter. So I have the NX10 by Spectrum, but this will work on any transmitter. The toggle switch covers are of different sizes. There's probably a variety of places that you can purchase these from, and probably generic brands. I just purchased these from Amazon, and I've found them really helpful. I've probably ordered these a couple years ago, and different ones. I know a lot of them have like black toggle switch covers, because your switches generally will come like chrome. But I like the assortment of colors. It helps me remember what switches control which functions on my transmitter, on my model aircraft, and this is how I use them. So hopefully you can find this as something that's helpful to you. I like the different colors on here. As you can see, I have these foam gimbal covers that I shared with you guys before. They're pretty cheap, little something that you can pick up to help protect your transmitter while you're transporting it, and just help protect from putting pressure on the gimbal sticks. And so they'll you can find the video for these. Maybe I'll put it in the screen. But yeah, this is where I mount the little toggle switch covers on, and I find them really helpful. You can do any color if you want. There's red, black, blue, white, yellow, green, clear. I don't know if I missed any of the colors, but quite an assortment of colors. And I think you can get like a 36 pack. Oh, we had a little visitor there. I think you can get like a 36 pack for like $7.99 or $8 or something. So I feel like that's pretty good price, pretty inexpensive, and it'll work for a number of transmitters depending on how many channel your transmitter is. So as I mentioned, this is the NX10, as you can see, but it doesn't matter what transmitter. You can do it on a Radio Master. I'm getting more and more into the Radio Masters and enjoying that with the multi-protocol setup and running some Crossfire. So, but I still have the Spectrum, and this is what I happen to have all my switch covers set up on currently. So I put this one on my safe button. This is a 3-position switch, and so I put a red one on there. Just remember, red for safety, or red for turning the gyro off. This is usually your landing gear switch, so I put a yellow one on my landing gear for caution. I don't think I really use this white one very much, so I don't have anything on it. I have the black one on where I have my flaps programmed. Over here I have a red one for where I put my reverse thrust on aircrafts that I have set up for reverse thrusting on the smart ESCs. My green one is for my timer. As you've seen probably already, there's been a video on how to set up your flight timer. If you need to know how to do that, there'll be a video for that. And then the blue one is for my rates. And then of course the red one back here on this right hand side is a 2-position switch, and that's where I have my throttle cut set up. And definitely recommend you do that. There's already a video out on how to set up your throttle cut on a Spectrum radio if you don't know how. I think there's already a video on how to do your flight timer. So we're trying to cover some of those little common tips that maybe some of you guys know and just need a reminder to set it up for extra safety. But anyway, I wanted to share these with you. Again, they're pretty small. Most of them are the same size in diameter. Some of them are skinnier. I don't know if you'll be able to tell very easily from back there, but you can see a lot of these are fairly skinny. I think there's some black ones that are a little bit larger in diameter and some that are skinnier. And just a little tip as well when you use these or install these. These are set up for like longer switches, so when they come factory the full length, and I don't know, that's probably like maybe 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch long, maybe, yeah, somewhere around in there. Doesn't have to be exact, I guess, but and so they work pretty good for the longer toggle switches. But when you get into the smaller toggle switches, you'll need to trim them down a little bit, and you'll see this one's been trimmed down a little bit in comparison. So I don't think there's any set rule of thumb, but I usually trim maybe about a 1/4 inch off of them. And the reason why you want to do that is so when you put the switch cover on it, it's not going to get down in the base of the switch and keep it from activating into that other position. So if it's a 3-position switch, if you have it in the middle position, you could put a long one on there and it'd probably go all the way down to the base of the switch, but then it's not going to actually get into the full position. So you don't want to restrict the function of this toggle switch. So make sure that if you put a switch cover on a switch, make sure that it's trimmed up a little bit just so it's not going to catch. I don't know if you can see the little bit of gap that we have there. This one is not as much of a gap, so maybe I could trim that one a little bit, but you can see the tiny bit of gap there. And same way for some of these switches, you want to make sure that you have them trimmed up a little bit so it's not going to interfere with the function of your switch. That could cause a problem, obviously, when it comes time to operate a function. So, but other than that, everything's pretty straightforward. They're pretty much self-explanatory. You just pick which color you want for each function. That's kind of what I do. I generally use red for things that are most important in the hobby or most important in the aircraft. So your arming switch, I like to remember that my throttle cut's in red. My reverse thrust is in red. That's something that could be dangerous if you activate that while you're flying, or that. Same way with your gyro. I have my gyro set up on the 3-position switch, so that's in red. Then your landing gear in orange, and I could put orange on my flaps, I guess. Timer green, and rates, dual rates I have set up on the blue switch. But I did have a little bit of issue on putting this red one on the taller switch. So this one wasn't any problem because the black cover is a little bit skinnier, a little more narrow for narrow switches. And these are not beveled out on the end like most of your 3-position switches are. These are just kind of skinny. Actually, I guess these are 2-position, and they're kind of beveled out on the end. You can see how they taper down to the bottom and are a little fatter on the top, but these 2 switches are not. So the black one worked fine. This red one was a little bit big, and when I set it on there, it didn't press on. You want a nice firm fit so they're not going to fall back off. So I did put just a dab of CA right on the tip of my switch before I pressed it on. And then, of course, when you install that, you want to make sure it's upside down, so when you press it on, if you have any excess CA glue, or you could use foam tack, probably preferably, you definitely, by all means, do not want CA glue up in your switch. So if you do have to add any type of glue to it, hold it upside down while you push it on, so if there's excess glue, gravity will help it pull it away from the transmitter, not down into it. And then make sure it's completely dry before you start using it so it doesn't go down in your switch. It could damage your switch, and that would be a real nightmare, having to replace a switch just for simply like a issue like that. Simple mess up. So anyway, there they are. I'll put a link for them in the video description if you want to purchase some through Amazon, or maybe your local hobby shop has some. I encourage you to support your local hobby shop when you can, and when you can't, check out Amazon. I don't have any affiliation with Amazon. I just really appreciate their good customer service, which is hard to find in 2024. So anyway, if you like any of those, check them out. Like I said, they're fairly inexpensive. I think they're like $7.99 or $8, probably plus tax or maybe shipping for like a pack of 36 of them. And you're definitely not going to use 36. I don't know anybody that has a 36 channel transmitter. But anyway, check those out. Hope you find them helpful. Hope you guys enjoy these Tools and Tips Tuesdays, as I try to share little tips and tricks that make the hobby a little more enjoyable, a little less of a headache, and more fun. Get you in the air and have fun flying your RC plane. So thanks again for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell icon if you want to get future video notifications. Hit the big like button, or the big thumbs up button if you like this content. Share it with a friend you think might enjoy it. Drop a comment or question. I always enjoy hearing from you guys and hearing your ideas on the videos, or maybe ideas for future videos. So thanks again for watching this episode. We'll catch you in the next one.